On this episode of Bite Sized, we are taking a look back at some of my favorite moments from episodes 16 through 30. If you're a first-time listener, you picked a great place to start. And now, on to the episode. Laura, I'm going to start this interview off the way I start every interview on the show. That is by asking you, Laura Griffiths, what is your history with the Twilight franchise?
I'm very happy that the clip you've selected today actually leans into my journey into Twilight because...
Yes, you sent me an email that I did not want to respond to because I wanted to save it for the show, but I'm very curious as to where this is going.
I don't remember ever hearing about Twilight, the books or anything, and it was Paramore that really got me into the series. So my sister and I was 17 when the first movie came out, so I was in sixth form college, and my sister and I were absolutely obsessed with Paramore, more specifically Hayley Williams, would do whatever Hayley Williams did, and including all the Hercules. And so it was. We knew there was a Paramore song on the film, so that's the only reason why I went to see Twilight in the first place.
That's incredible. You're not the first non-American I've had on my show. I've briefly talked with a past guest about what Twilight was like in Australia. But I guess my next question is what was Twilight fandom like in the UK? I guess not that big if you had to come to it in maybe the most indirect way I've ever heard.
I have so many thoughts.
Well, I'm going to let you start then. What's on the top of your mind?
First,
because I probably have written down something.
Why is he wearing his headphones that way?
Yeah, I know, that was a great question. He is wearing headphones and listening to some music.
Backwards.
Upside down, I would say.
Upside down.
The part that's supposed to go on your head
is around his front neck.
Is like under his chin.
Like a necklace.
Right. And who made the decision to have him put the headphones on upside down? Was that him as an actor thinking,
maybe
this is what my character would do, I guess?
For his line, for his arc.
Yeah, because he's, a weird, goofy guy who does things.
I mean, he's singing in the beginning.
Right.
He's got a nice voice.
Does he?
Mama said didn't know how to make a kitty meow.
It's pleasant.
Okay.
I bet he's trained.
He's got like actor singing voice.
Exactly.
Of like, you can always tell in movies when an actor is trying to sing badly, but they actually have taken a lot of vocal lessons. Yes. And their idea of singing badly is still better than most actual bad singers.
That's it, exactly. He's got a strong voice, but he's like, I'm drunk.
Right.
Yeah.
He is singing a song. I looked it up. This song he made it up.
Did he?
Yeah.
No, really?
No, for serious. Because if you Googled what he sings, this is the only thing that comes up. And I found somewhere that he made this up because the only line...
Something about mama?
Mama said, didn't know how to make a kitty cat meow.
Mama said, didn't know how to make a kitty cat meow.
Yeah, that's it. That's a pretty accurate recreation of it right there.
That makes it even better. But there's music in the background.
There is music coming out of the headphones. And there's music in the background of the scene.
So they maybe just gave him a backing track.
I tried really hard. I have to assume that day of, when they're actually shooting this, there's no music coming out of those headphones.
True.
Just from a sound perspective. And I'm guessing they don't want to have to clear the rights to some music. That's why they had him just make something up. So he has the headphones, he puts them on upside down, there's nothing coming out of them, and they say, act like you're listening to music. And this is what he does. He sings a little bit about making a kitty cat meow.
He's really making the whole thing a meal.
Yeah, he really is. But then they put in some music that sounds like it's coming out of the headphones.
Yeah, sort of tinny.
Right. And I really tried to listen. I turned it up all the way, listened as close as I could. Cannot make it out.
Does it sound like there's lyrics in the track that he's listening
to? It does, yeah.
Okay,
but there's
so maybe
no
they
way.
just took his voice, compressed it,
I
put
doubt
it on
that.
top.
They definitely got just some royalty-free country song or whatever and put it in knowing that no one would ever notice or listen to it.
Haha.
But yeah, he completely makes that up.
Yeah.
You do musical improv. What's your estimation of his ability to make up a song there?
The confidence that he delivered it with?
Yeah.
Prime.
Okay.
It sounds like a real song. I assumed it was a real song.
I did too, actually. Until the reason I figured this out is because I was like, I wonder what song that is.
Yeah.
And I Googled the lyrics, And apparently this is it.
So in terms of delivery and confidence, he's absolutely nailing it.
He's killing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything more would have been too much. If
Yeah.
he started rhyming, if he was rapping in there,
Right.
too much.
Oh, for sure, excessive.
No, because he just has to set up like this sort of, I'm happy to be alive. Soon I won't be.
Just like your sort of weird dad's friend or uncle type. You know, we all know
It's like a swamp guy.
like him. He's a swamp guy. Yeah, one like my people, a swamp guy. I spent a lot of time in swamps.
It does have a swamp feel though, doesn't
A
it?
little bit. It doesn't
feel like Washington.
It doesn't feel very Pacific Northwest.
No,
it definitely
it really
feels a
does
little
not.
more southern.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like he's listening to some like old Hank Williams or Waylon Jennings old country or something
Yeah,
like that.
the vibe is different.
It is, for sure. And he's just going to go fish and drink and just have a good old time.
Yeah. And then we get like this NCIS murder music.
Well, before that, though, I do have another question about the song.
Go ahead.
Do
More
you-
about the song.
Do you know how to make a kitty cat meow?
So wait, what are the lyrics again?
Mama said, and it drops. He kind of drops out. So it's either said it said Mama said, don't know how to make a kitty meow, and it is that Mama said I don't know. Mama said she does. We don't know who doesn't know how to make a kitty meow.
said-
but Mama said that someone doesn't know how to make a kitty meow. I don't know what that means.
I think that's a euphemism.
It does sound a little sexual.
Absolutely sexual.
But do you know how to make a kitty meow?
Maybe like a light shake.
Okay.
Maybe a. Oh my! There's a cat coming toward the mic.
I've got a kitty right here, and I would like you to try to make him meow.
Okay, I'm not gonna shake your cat.
Bella walks out to the parking lot of the compost place, and we can see Edward walking very quickly behind her.
Yeah.
And he eventually catches up and starts off the conversation by saying, "We shouldn't be friends."
Bella, we shouldn't be friends.
You really should have figured that out a little earlier.
Which makes me wonder, do they think they're friends, or do they think that anything they've done will lead them to become friends? Because in the entire almost half hour that we've seen them interact with each other, it's been weird, uncomfortable conversations that
Yes.
turn hostile almost immediately.
There's that sort of attraction, tension that can happen between two people, but it doesn't usually result in just constant insults. It's usually kind of a, well, I'm a little too hot under the collar being near you, so guess I'll go. But these two, just every time they see each other, it's just, hey, fuck you. No, fuck you.
Like, go away, leave me alone. I don't
Yes.
want anything to do with you.
Stop saving my life, idiot.
Yeah. Like, that's like the one thing, the saving her life is like the one thing that you could look at as a positive interaction. And even that is weird because he just sort of runs away at the end.
Right.
I wonder why. Does he think she thinks they're friends? I'm trying to understand the math here, and it doesn't work out.
I think he thinks she thinks they're going to be friends.
Okay.
And he's trying to nip that in the bud.
Yeah.
Theory of mind here.
Okay.
I think
Yes.
he thinks.
Yes.
She thinks
Following.
they're going to be friends. But I think she thinks he thinks she's awful. So she doesn't think he thinks they're going to be friends. So he's cutting something off that she's not expecting, and she's angry that he's just now vocalizing it.
Listener, if you followed any of that, please diagram it and send it to me because I got lost after the second course of he thinks and she thinks.
The gist of it is, it's weird that they're talking about being friends right now because clearly
Right.
neither of them are in a good place. What she wants from him is information.
Yeah.
She wants information. She wants to know, how'd you get so zoomy? How'd you get to be a big parking lot zoomy boy?
Yeah.
And he won't tell her, which reads as him being sort of cruel or careless toward her, and yet he saved her life, which is the ultimate sacrificial act, as the Bible tells us. No, that's not quite what it says.
Yeah, no greater love hath no man than this, than to stop a van with his bare hands.
Then he goes zoomy across the parking
Yeah,
lot, stop the
exactly.
van.
That's in the Bible.
So bland in this scene.
Yes.
The coloring,
What about the coloring?
just the cinematography.
Uh-huh.
I swear the walls of this cafeteria are the same color as like both of their skin.
Yeah.
It's this like pale, washed out kind of green. What is it? Your hands hovering over a bell? What is going on?
I'm waiting for you to say a very specific word. Tell me more about the colors, Brian.
Pale? Is it pale?
No.
Pale, deathly.
No, you're getting further away. You're getting colder as I vigorously wink at you. Colder.
Oh, okay. So I'm getting this kind of like frozen, icy.
But if you were to be more literal, what color would you say it is?
Snow.
No, literally, Brian.
White?
Farther, Brian.
I have no idea what you want me to say. Why don't you just, you know what? I'm sure it'll come up. I'm sure I'll say it.
Okay, I'm going to keep my hand over this bell until you say it.
So looking at the colors of the scene, I just was like, I don't want to.
Bella is hanging out with her friend whose name I can never remember, and they're talking about prom.
Right.
And about how
yes.
she wants to ask Eric to the prom.
So I keep thinking that Eric's going to ask me to the prom, and then he just doesn't.
You should ask him. Take control. You're a strong, independent woman. I am? Yes.
She wants Eric to ask her to the prom, but he hasn't done it.
Yes.
And then Bella gives her a little inspiring speech of, you're a strong, independent woman.
Really inspiring.
It
Yeah,
was.
Yeah.
And she has this nice moment of like, I am?
I am. Yeah. And that's
Yeah.
what's so funny because she's there. That's why I noticed the blanket. She's there like cold in a blanket, like very looking like help me, you
Right.
know? And he's like, don't worry, you got it. But really, Bella, you could tell just kind of doesn't care because she's eating her Twizzlers, you
Yeah.
know? She's like, you know, I don't care about your
Yeah.
drama. You've told me about Eric and prom forever. Just freaking ask him already.
Just do it.
Yeah.
That is
God.
true. They've been talking about that a lot.
Is that a storyline of magnitude?
Not really. I mean, prom sort of comes up every now and then,
Yeah.
and like the end of the movie is prom.
Oh,
But,
really?
Like, yeah, there's a couple guys, the guys that we see later on in this scene, both want to ask Bella to prom, and so she has to
man.
like get them to ask someone else, basically. But that's like not
man.
an important storyline.
No, I wish it was. If it was, then I'm watching it. This sounds
is.
amazing. That's so funny.
It would be great if that's just all this movie was, and also there happen to be vampires and
Yeah,
werewolves,
yeah.
but they're not important. No one
Because
cares
everybody
about that.
loves prom.
Everyone loves
you
prom.
know?
Did you love prom?
I was lucky enough to go twice. Let me tell you that.
Okay,
much.
how'd
Almost
that-
3 times even.
How did this work out?
Well, it's supposed for the juniors, right? At least in our school.
I guess.
It's supposed for the juniors.
I was homeschooled. I don't know how this stuff works.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. No, well, actually, prom, it doesn't exist. It's made up.
What?
We've all been told just to say it.
Oh, my God.
You know, just to talk about this time where we all got hammered and had sex and danced, and it was great.
But all the dresses. Who
and
buys all the dresses?
we rented tuxes and bought dresses
It's all a scam.
and took pictures and rented party buses.
Oh my God. That
No,
sounds
yeah,
incredible.
It was fine.
Yeah. Did you go with someone?
Yeah, I went someone the junior year,
Yeah.
and then the senior year. I think I had a better time senior year with my date senior year.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're both listening right now.
Okay,
So
great.
I will say, Sabrina, I had a better time.
All right.
Yeah. That's
how did you ask? Was it
this
suave?
this is funny. Actually,
okay? Good. Then that's what I'm here for.
Because the main reason I asked this girl was because I had a good idea
Okay.
to ask her. I was like, I have to use this.
Okay.
idea.
Were you still like gonna ask her no matter what, or were
I
you
mean,
just
we were
like
kind of flirty, anyways.
Okay.
You know, so it was like, oh, the potential was there.
Yeah.
And so this girl took voice lessons from a teacher who lived down the street from me, right?
Okay.
And she knew I lived there. And frequently I'd be out in the driveway shooting hoops, you know?
Uh-huh.
Actually.
just trying to look attractive?
Just being chill, you know, cool as
Just
hell.
sinking
throwing
some
off my
free throws
shirt.
'cause that's what the ladies
sinking,
like.
3 throws, a few layups here, fundamental ball.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
That's it. Girls love the fundamentals.
I do a bounce pass against a tree. It
Just-
comes out. They love
just
it.
giving you missing so that you can pick up rebounds.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just practicing. And I was like, oh, I can. And I wasn't even artsy enough. Well, I was, but I was like,
Uh-huh.
oh, I can get prom 4 letters. I got 4 trees on my front lawn. I can put all the letters
Uh-huh.
on the tree, and then I'll make a question mark shirt and I'll put it on a shirt. And so she'll drive by and I'll run out, you know, and so and it did
Uh-huh.
it, and it happened. And she was like, and it was funny too, because she was just like, yeah, okay. And I was like, yeah, sure. We were both just like, yeah.
Uh-huh.
we gotta have dates for prom. We're not
Sure.
gonna, you know.
Can't go alone.
And the reason that pushed me over the edge to enact this plan.
Yeah.
I was the drummer for our swing choir, but we called it vocal jazz.
Okay.
And she was in it. She was a singer. And then there was this other guy. We were so short on guys that senior year, we're like, anybody who wants to sing and do show choir, senior vocal jazz thing, we'll take you. And there was a guy named Fred who was a baseball player. I'd known him forever, and he just had the personality, so he's like, yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah.
So he did it. And it was known that Sabrina has a crush on Fred. But Fred isn't going to ask her to prom.
Okay.
And I knew, and that person hoping, but it's like, I know Fred, okay? I've known him for years. We've played ball. We've played basketball, baseball, not basketball. But I was like, I know he's not going to ask.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'll ask Sabrina, It was so kind of weird and selfish.
All right.
We had a good time. We got along.
It worked out.
Yeah.
That's pretty smooth. I'm not gonna lie.
Thank you. And I did not expect to share that today, and it's pretty funny.
I'm so glad that you did.
Yeah, right. I guess one of the few things I'm proud of. I guess.
Yeah, it sounds like you really nailed that one. I don't know that high school me definitely would not have been that swab.
And honestly, I think I did it for future Matt.
No, you did it for the story.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, I don't want to look back and be like, man, you did nothing for your prom. You're so lame.
And here it is, paying off now.
Here it is, paying off on a podcast.
Bragging to the world,
Love
Matthew
to see
Nielsen really nails the prom.
Matt Nielsen went to prom 2 years, man. Almost 3. The almost 3 is...
Almost 3.
Yeah, see, someone told me they should have took me. So I'm like, well, that counts as 3.
Okay.
Because if you were a sophomore, you
to a prom that you already went to, or to...
No. I didn't leave and then come back.
You just, yeah.
2 different proms.
Got it.
Yeah, in our school, it was like, it's for the juniors. The juniors put it on, but seniors can also go. And then sophomores can go, but only if you're a date.
Got it.
Only if you're invited as a date. So it's like, ooh. It's kind of like, a freshman playing on varsity in sports.
Yeah, sure. That thing.
Yeah.
Sounds like you were super popular
I was
then.
just going to say, Ben, I peaked in high school, so you're talking to the right person. You're talking to the right person.
He walks away. And I want to see if I can play this for you now. Before he walks away, when he says it's the fluorescence, he gives one of the best performances in the movie. And I'm just going to play it right here, and maybe we'll keep it live. He says, And then did you catch that? Did you catch the world's littlest cough?
No.
I'm going to go back. Listen very close. I'm going to turn this all the way up.
It's the fluorescence.
It's the tiniest, sick kitten cough.
It's like in Mean Girls where she's like, I'm sick.
That's exactly
Boo, you
it.
whore.
This is the bad line continuing. Do you think that was an involuntary reaction from the actor Robert Pattinson, or is that Edward trying to pretend he's sick to get out of this conversation?
I think he's pretending to be sick, which is awful.
It's the worst.
You would think if someone has lived that long that you would learn to be a better actor.
You would think that. We're learning a lot about Edward Cullen, is that he has spent his 100 years as a vampire learning about biology and nothing about social interaction.
Right.
Let's get into the scene. Okay. It's a good long one. It's about 3 minutes long. Bella just almost got hit by a car. She's at the hospital. Her dad checks her out with the cool doctor. And then she talks to Edward about the fact that he saved her life. That's the brief overview. Let's get into the nitty gritty. Jack, sometimes when I bring someone on the show, I do it for a specific reason, because they have something in their background or their life that pertains to the episode, the scene we're discussing. And sometimes that happens on accident. Because I did not know this when I asked you to do this show or even specifically this scene, but you, an actor, I knew that. You have portrayed a medical professional on TV. Is that right?
Oh my God. Yeah.
As I literally a few days ago, as I was looking you up, basically, I was checking out your website. I saw, your stuff in your reel on your website is very similar to what we're going to be discussing today. Tell us about that.
Yeah. Well, I play a paramedic on Chicago Med.
I've heard of it.
Yeah. I think some people have heard of it, which is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I booked that last year. I did a couple episodes hoping for more. The idea is that there are more that I will be in, but yeah, it's a wild ride.
So we've already spoken to you as an expert on acting, but specifically on acting as a medical professional. What was your take on this scene?
to be honest. I actually made a note.
Did you think about your experience in Chicago Med as you were watching this in preparation?
I did in like watching the other, like the main people in Chicago Med, like the main doctors.
Mm-hmm.
And also because I watch a lot of Grey's Anatomy. And I'm just like, how do people...
I'm so glad I got you for the one medical drama scene in this movie.
I'm so
oh my
excited
God.
as well. Yeah, watching him, to be honest, I definitely was like, Carlisle, I don't know what exam you're actually doing. It's true that you light someone's eyes and you're checking for pupil dilation, right? But he doesn't do the same thing on the other side. He does it once on one side, and then he just like... She literally moves her eyes, and then
that's one of my notes. Is that he asks her? He holds up his finger and says, "Look right here," and she doesn't.
She doesn't,
and he says nothing about it.
Isabella. Bella. Well, Bella, looks like you took quite a spill. How do you feel?
Good.
Look here. You might experience some post-traumatic stress or disorientation, but your vitals look good. No signs of any head trauma. I think you'll be just fine.
He doesn't, and it's like, I mean, you know, suspend your disbelief. Like, why would he?
Yeah.
And also, if he thinks that she's fine, like, okay, I guess it doesn't really matter. But yeah, that whole, when he did that, I was like, Carlisle, you're not doing anything. Okay, I can very much tell you're not a doctor.
I do. There's got to be somebody who could direct this with a little bit more visual flair.
Yeah,
and maybe there is in other scenes. Again, I've only seen this one, but it was so ashy.
Yeah,
and white and icy and snowy and frosty, and it's cold. It's definitely a cold word.
I'd say it's related to the cold. Yes.
Okay. It's I don't know what I can't.
Oh man,
is it a very common word?
Yeah, you're thinking too metaphorically here, man.
Snowflake.
Nope. Less metaphorical than that. Just
what's the metaphorical about a snowflake?
Simple it down. We're talking about the color here. Name a color, man.
It's white. It's the color white. It's gray. It's white, gray. It's eggshell, beige.
Nope. Simpler than that. Simpler
than white.
Yeah, simpler than eggshell and beige. That's for sure.
Oh, okay. Someone's got to call up.
You're
Pantone.
wearing it right now, man.
I'm wearing it.
Yeah.
What? Like, I'm wearing navy, and I'm wearing a tan navy blue.
That's
just
the
blue.
bell. That's the Bluebell, Brian. Yeah, it's not uncommon for guests to come on this show and talk about just how blue the movie Twilight is.
A lot of people all doing a lot of just business.
Yeah, a lot of business.
Yeah.
And I think it's a good time to get into that business.
Oh,
There
yes,
is a
good.
segment on this show called Extra Extra. Editor Ben, please drop in the theme song here. Extra. Thank you. Extra Extra is normally a segment devoted to one person in the background of the scene who is, shall we say, upstaging the higher build cast members.
Sure.
The most extra, if you will. Not today, though, because Extra Extra is going to be about 15 people who are all have no idea what they're doing.
Yeah.
And we can just sort of run them down one by one, starting with the two people directly behind our heroes.
Boy, let's talk about them.
Because these two are, I think, my favorites.
Yeah.
We got the guy who doesn't really do anything that interesting. It's really more in what he's wearing.
What he's wearing.
He is wearing a brown polo shirt.
Popped collar.
Extremely popped collar.
And what I wrote down was, and basketball longs.
Yeah.
Because they are not shorts.
No.
They are like practically to his ankles.
They are like that one picture of Kevin Smith at a gas station, if you are familiar.
Yeah.
They are incredibly long basketball shorts that were of the style in the this sort of time period.
Yeah, no, the reason I even had that word at the ready was like pictures of me from then. I'm also wearing polo shirts and basketball longs.
Right. And like NBA uniforms circa 2003 to 2008.
Yeah.
Just the longest, it like shorts so long that you think they would be getting in the way.
Right.
At some point, I think you see him stand up and there's a possibility that that brown polo shirt is tucked into the basketball shorts.
Yeah. Also, Brown.
Brown and black don't go together so great. No. I think he's also wearing like a green, like the color of Bella's apple green shirt under it.
Okay, yeah, that sounds about right.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
And I guess now we can sort of get into a segment that I've been wanting to bring back for a while called Student or Set Designer, where we have to guess, is this his actual, did he show up like that? Or did they dress him like that?
I think they dressed him like that.
Okay.
I think I would venture to guess that everybody was dressed like professionally by a wardrobe person, but
there's no way that's true, but keep talking. If you had to give this scene a name, what would it be? And this is going to be the name of the episode, so make it good.
How many tries do I get?
As many as you need. We have an editor for this type of thing.
I'll give some options. Kiss me, I'm dead.
Kiss me, I'm dead. And just like that, I think we got it. I mean, as much as I love to hear what your other options are, I don't know that we're going to beat that.
Great.
Oh, beach snake.
Beach snake. We came up with it right away. Beach snake, all one word?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Fantastic.
I'm thinking maybe keeping it teal.
Keeping it teal? Okay. Out of everything we have talked about.
Yeah. No, you know what? That can be like a in the very Star Wars fashion. That's what this episode gets retitled. Yeah, okay. Later on. Maybe it's just something like brown polo shirt, basketball longs.
I'm torn between
keeping it teal,
comedian Ben who loves a long and unwieldy title, and podcaster Ben who knows that I have to type this into my hosting software, and then B, people will have to find it and listen to it. So let me just clarify: the name of the episode that you want is Brown Polo, basketball longs, keeping it teal.
That is correct. That is what I want.
Ha ha ha. We sure had some fun. Hey everyone, it's Ben from the present here. I hope you enjoyed this little highlight reel, little look back at our past few months of episodes. We've been getting a ton of new listeners recently, and this seemed like a great way to help people get caught up as quick as possible and also give you a little taste of what the podcast is all about. A little sampler platter for first-time listeners, if you will. I also enjoyed putting this together. It was nice to go back and reminisce, so I might make it a regular feature of the show. Maybe I'll drop it on an off day or keep it in the regular time slot and give myself a break from recording new episodes once every 4 months. If you had a good time, keep listening to the show. There's more episodes. You can maybe find some of the bits that you liked from this little clip show experience, or find a completely new one. There's also a recap of the first 15 episodes if you want to get completely caught up to speed as quickly as possible. If you had a good time, share the show with friends on social media or in real life. You can follow the show at Bite-Sized Pod on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, where I am now finally posting regular content. You can also email the show at myfavoritetwilightpodcast@gmail.com. All one word, no dashes or nothing like that. I couldn't find an email address with the name of the show, so I just did a complete sentence. I also want to take this time to follow up on something I mentioned in the last episode. I'm embarking on a quest to get Kellen Lutz on this show. If anyone here knows Kellen Lutz, let him know I said that. Anyway, that's all the time we have for today's episode. Regular episodes resume next week. Already recorded that one. It's in the can. I'm excited for y'all to hear it. But until then, thank you so much to my editor, Ben Oxher, for putting these shows together. Thank you to the band Swimwear Department for letting me use their song Mauled to Death as our theme. And that is it. That is all the time we have for today. As we always say at the end of every episode,
yum, 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 Twilight. Have a real good time with your fangs.
Weird. What? What do we say again? What do we say?
I don't know. You tell me. Leave all of this in, Ben.
Leave all of this in, Ben.
That's it. Thank you so much for listening to another episode. See you next week.